Norway, land of breathtaking fjords, northern lights, and legendary quality of life. But it's also known for shocking price tags, $10 beers, $30 pizzas, and rent that makes you wince. Is Norway only for the wealthy? Or is there more to the story than just the high prices? Let's look beyond the sticker shock and see what you really get for your money in Norway. Arriving in Norway, prices can be a shock. Everyday items seem expensive, but there's a reason. High wages mean Norwegians can afford these costs, and wealth is shared more evenly. Taxes fund free healthcare, education, and great public services, making the high prices a trade-off for quality of life. The first big challenge when moving to Norway is finding a home. Housing is your largest expense, and the rental market in cities like Oslo is fast and competitive. Sticker shock is real. Prices reflect Norway's high standard of living. Most newcomers must adjust expectations, often choosing a smaller, affordable flat further out. Your Norwegian adventure truly begins with the hunt for a home. In Oslo, living in the city center means paying a premium for a compact space, often over 15,000 kroner a month. But just a short metro ride away, rent drops dramatically. Many locals and expats save thousands by choosing the suburbs, trading a longer commute for a bigger, more affordable home. With great public transport, it's the smartest way to make Oslo living work for you. Securing an apartment in Norway is just the start. There are hidden costs beyond rent. Utilities like electricity, especially during long winters, can add up fast. Internet is rarely included, and both bills together can mean 1,200, 1,800 kroner extra each month. Don't forget the deposit, usually 3 months' rent up front. Always check your contract so your new home stays a comfort, not a financial shock. Norway's rental market can be tough, but there are smart ways to save, especially for students and young professionals. Shared housing, or collective, is the most popular and cost-effective option. Students can also apply for dedicated student housing, but demand is high, so apply early. For furniture, check fin.no for affordable or even free items. With flexibility and planning, you can find a comfortable, affordable home in Norway. After finding a place to live, your next shock in Norway is the supermarket. The clean aisles of Rema 1000 or Kiwi look familiar, but the prices are a wake-up call. A loaf of bread, 30 to 40 kroner, cheese or chicken, over 100 kroner per kilo. Suddenly, every shopping trip is a lesson in budgeting and frugality. It's natural to wonder why the cost of food in Norway is so high. But you know, it's not because the supermarkets are trying to gouge customers. The reasons are deeply embedded in the country's geography, economy, and political policies. One of the primary factors is Norway's challenging climate and topography. With a short growing season and vast areas of mountainous terrain, large-scale agriculture is difficult and limited. This means that a significant portion of the food found in supermarkets, especially fresh fruits and vegetables, has to be imported from other countries. The long-distance transportation, logistics, and import taxes all add to the final price you pay at the checkout. Another major contributor is the government's agricultural policy, which is designed to protect local farmers. Norway imposes high tariffs on many imported food products, such as meat and cheese, to ensure that Norwegian-produced goods can compete in the market. This protectionism supports local agriculture and food security, which are important national priorities, but it also keeps prices artificially high for consumers. That expensive block of Norwegian cheese is priced that way partly because its foreign competitors are slapped with heavy taxes, reducing competition and allowing domestic producers to command higher prices. It's a trade-off supporting local farmers at the cost of higher grocery bills for everyone. Furthermore, the same high wages that affect every other sector of the Norwegian economy also impact food prices. Every person involved in the food supply chain, from the farmhand and the truck driver to the warehouse worker and the supermarket cashier, earns a decent, livable wage. This high labor cost is factored into the price of every product on the shelf. While it contributes to a more equitable society where workers are fairly compensated, it inevitably leads to higher consumer prices. You are, in effect, paying for a system that values its workers, a cost that is distributed across every item you purchase. Finally, we have the taxes. Just like with most other goods, food is subject to VAT, although it's at a reduced rate of 15% compared to the standard 25%. On top of this, there are special taxes on products deemed unhealthy, most notably the sugar tax. This Sukkerov gift adds an extra cost to sugary drinks, candies, and other sweets, making them significantly more expensive than they would be otherwise. These policies are intended to encourage healthier lifestyles, but they also contribute to the overall high cost of a weekly shop. Understanding these layers of costs, geography, protectionism, wages, and taxes, helps explain why your grocery basket in Norway is so much heavier on your wallet. If you think grocery prices in Norway are high, eating out is even more expensive. A simple meal out can cost a small fortune, making dining out a rare treat for most Norwegians. Even fast food like a Big Mac meal costs around $13. That's why most socializing happens at home, with friends gathering for home-cooked meals instead of eating out. Eating well in Norway doesn't mean overspending. Shop at discount chains like Kiwi or Rema 1000. Watch for weekly sales and buy in bulk when possible. Embrace store brands and seasonal produce for big savings. Use your freezer to store discounted meats, bread, and leftovers so nothing goes to waste. With these habits, you can eat well on a budget in Norway. In Norway's cities, public transport is the lifeline, efficient, clean, and the default for most residents. A monthly pass costing around 850 to 950 kroner gives you unlimited travel on buses, trams, metros, and some ferries. It's the most practical, budget-friendly way to get around, making life in the city seamless and stress-free. In Norway's cities, public transport is king. But if you want your own car, be prepared. It's expensive. High taxes, fuel prices, tolls, and parking fees make car ownership a costly burden. Electric cars are popular, but even they come with expenses. For most, Norway's excellent public transit is the smarter choice. In Norway, taxis are shockingly expensive, making gasoline seem cheap. They're a last resort, used only when public transport isn't an option. A taxi ride starts at 200 NOK, nearly $20. Costs escalate quickly, making short trips feel surreal. To save money, plan with public transport and reserve taxis for emergencies. In Norway, leisure and entertainment come at a price. A night out, whether it's grabbing a beer or catching a movie, can be surprisingly expensive, with drinks and tickets costing much more than you might expect. That's why Norwegians often gather at home for vorspiel, pre-parties, making social life cozy, intimate, and a lot more budget-friendly. The high cost of services in Norway extends deeply into the realm of personal care. Anything that involves skilled labor, from getting your hair cut to having your clothes dry cleaned, comes with a premium price tag. This is a direct reflection of the country's high-wage economy, where skilled professionals are compensated fairly for their time and expertise. While this is definitely a positive aspect of the Norwegian social model, it means that services you might consider routine and affordable back home can feel like significant investments here. Budgeting for personal upkeep becomes honestly an essential part of managing your finances. A perfect example of this is getting a simple haircut. In many countries, a basic trim is a minor, almost negligible expense. In Norway, it's a different story. A standard men's haircut can easily cost between 350 and 500 NOK. For women, a simple cut and blow dry can be even more. This price can be pretty jarring for newcomers. I have a very clear memory of my first haircut in Oslo. It was a straightforward, no-frills cut, the same style I had been getting for years. Back home, it would have cost me the equivalent of 120 NOK. When the stylist told me the price was 400 NOK, I was, honestly, taken aback. It was over 3 times more for the exact same service. That experience was a lesson in the true cost of labor in Norway. The high price wasn't just for the haircut itself. It was contributing to the stylists' livable wage, their pension, and the high taxes that fund the country's welfare state. Understanding this context helps, but it doesn't really change the fact that it's a hefty price to pay. As a result, many people adjust their habits. They might go longer between haircuts, learn to do simple trims at home, or seek out less trendy, more affordable salons in suburban areas. It's a small but telling example of how the cost of living influences everyday personal choices. This principle applies across the board for personal services. A manicure, a massage, or a tailoring service will all feel disproportionately expensive if you are converting the price from another currency. It forces you to reevaluate what is a necessity and what is a luxury. You learn to become more self-sufficient, maybe mastering the art of the home manicure or learning basic sewing skills. It's another aspect of the Norwegian financial reality that encourages practicality and careful planning. Looking good is certainly possible, but it requires a budget and a willingness to adapt your old routines. In Norway, small daily luxuries like cafe coffee wine or a gym membership quickly add up. A single latte can cost up to 60 NOK, making daily cafe visits a pricey habit. Many Norwegians brew at home and save cafe trips for special occasions. Wine is only sold at the state-run Vinmonopolet, with heavy taxes pushing even basic bottles to 150, 200 NOK. Gym memberships average 500, 700 NOK per month, but Norway's stunning outdoors offer a free alternative for staying active. Hiking, running, and skiing are popular cost-free ways to stay fit and enjoy the landscape. These choices reflect a culture of balancing enjoyment with practicality. In Norway, embracing simple habits can help offset the high cost of daily treats. Why is Norway so expensive? It's a high-wage, high-tax society. Every worker earns a living wage, so service prices include substantial labor costs. The average monthly salary is around 55,000 NOK before tax, supporting a more equal society. Taxes are high, 25% VAT on most goods, plus extra on items like alcohol and sugar. These taxes fund free education, universal health care, and top-notch infrastructure. When you pay more, you're investing in a collective safety net and quality of life. High prices are the trade-off for a fair, well-supported society. Norway's geography and climate limit local agriculture. So much food is imported, raising costs. Importing food means higher prices due to shipping and logistics. The government protects local farmers with tariffs, keeping grocery prices high but supporting domestic agriculture. The strong Norwegian krone can make prices feel even steeper for visitors. Norway's wealth, fueled by oil and a sovereign fund, supports high wages and stability. In short, things are expensive because the country can afford it and chooses to prioritize quality and security. High prices reflect a prosperous, protected, and stable society. Norway's high costs are balanced by free public education from primary school through university. Unlike countries where student debt shapes lives, Norwegians pay no tuition at public universities, just living expenses. This policy opens doors based on merit, not money, and creates a highly educated workforce. Families can invest in homes or savings instead of repaying student loans. The extra kroner spent on groceries help fund this system, making education a collective investment. Free education is a pillar of the Norwegian model, offering long-term financial freedom. The high cost of living is partly the price for this life-changing opportunity. Universal health care is another major benefit in Norway. All residents are covered by the national insurance scheme, so medical care is a right, not a privilege. Taxes cover most medical costs, eliminating the need for expensive private insurance. This system provides peace of mind, no fear of financial ruin from illness. The collective safety net means everyone gets care when needed, without massive bills. The value isn't just in money saved, but in reduced stress and a healthier society. High daily costs help fund a system that protects everyone's health. Norway's high costs buy more than services. They buy quality of life. Low crime, strong social trust, and safe public spaces are everyday realities. Well-maintained infrastructure and clean public areas reflect high taxes at work. Work-life balance is prioritized, with regulated hours and generous vacation and parental leave. These intangible benefits, security, trust, and happiness, are the real returns on your investment. The high cost of living is a trade-off for stability, opportunity, and well-being. For many, these are worth every krone. Norway is expensive, but you can thrive by mastering home economics. The key? Cook at home, shop at discount stores like Kiwi or Rema 1000, and use your freezer wisely. Plan meals around weekly sales, buy frozen foods, and freeze leftovers. These habits are your best tools for saving money. While mastering your food budget is critical, there are many other practical strategies you can employ to make life in Norway more affordable. When it comes to housing, the golden rule is to look beyond the city center. As we discussed earlier, moving just a few metro stops away from the urban core can slash your rent by thousands of kroner each month. This is the single biggest financial lever you can pull to reduce your fixed expenses. For students or young people, embracing shared living in a collective is not just a money-saving tactic, but also a great way to meet new people and build a social network in a new country. Another incredibly valuable resource for saving money is the second-hand market. Norwegians are practical and environmentally conscious, and the culture of buying used goods is very strong. The website finn.no is the undisputed king of this market. It's the Norwegian equivalent of eBay and Craigslist combined, and it's a treasure trove for everything you can imagine. Whether you need furniture for your new apartment, sports equipment, electronics, or even clothes, you can find high-quality used items on Finn for a fraction of their original price. Many people even give things away for free, or gis bort, if you're willing to pick them up. Furthermore, you should always be on the lookout for discounts, especially if you are a student. A valid student ID can unlock a world of savings in Norway. You can get reduced prices on public transport, museum entries, cinema tickets, and even at some restaurants and hair salons. These small discounts might seem insignificant on their own, but they add up to substantial savings over time. It's crucial to always ask if a student discount is available, as it's not always advertised. Being proactive in seeking out these deals is a key part of living smart on a Norwegian budget. Ultimately, surviving the high costs comes down to a shift in mindset. It's about moving away from a culture of spontaneous consumption and towards one of planning and intentionality. It means brewing your coffee at home, packing your own lunch for work, and embracing the joy of a home-cooked meal with friends instead of a costly night out. It means choosing a hike in the forest over a trip to the mall. By adopting these practical, sensible habits, you're not just saving money. You are integrating into the Norwegian way of life, finding a rich and fulfilling existence that is defined by experiences, not by expenses. Norway is undeniably one of the most expensive countries on Earth. Everyday costs can shock newcomers, but high prices come with robust salaries and social benefits, like free healthcare and education. The expense is the price of admission to a society that values well-being, security, and nature. In Norway, the cost of living is a paradox. High daily prices, but immeasurable long-term value. Norway is expensive. Your groceries, rent, and nights out will cost more. But in return, you gain safety, peace of mind, and a strong social safety net. The true value here isn't just in kroner, but in the freedom, security, and natural beauty you enjoy every day. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more guides on life in Norway, and let me know which price shocked you most.